Hey guys, it's Jonathan with The Positive Pin and Project Positivity, and I'm very excited to be here with Mr. Jeremy McGilvrey. Did I pronounce that right?
Correct.
Okay, because I didn't know if it was McGilvrey or McGilvrey, and I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly. So I met Jeremy at Piatti. He came to a big event up there in the lawn, and what can I say? But the man has a presence. You know, he's tall, he's handsome. The women were all wondering who he was. And I got to know a little bit about him, and then I did some stalking, and he has this great website, The Secret to Success, and what a great website. So anyway, I wanted to acknowledge everything that Jeremy does on the blog, and Jeremy, please accept this positive pin as a congratulations, kind of an acknowledgement to the positivity that you bring to the world, to the internet, and tell us, what I always like to ask people that I interview is, what's your daily routine? Because for me, when I would see somebody that I really admire, a speaker in particular, like, what do they do? What's their daily routine? So your ideal day, what is your ideal routine when you wake up in the morning?
You know, the key to my routine, and probably the key to some of my positivity, is planning my days before they begin. I tell everybody that I coach, or anytime I have the opportunity to speak, if you have objectives to achieve for the day before you enter the office, you know exactly what you're going to do and what you're going to accomplish. And there's nothing that creates motivation like progress in life. And so the key, I think, is having a clear set of principles, a clear set of goals, objectives that is going to keep you making progress throughout the days.
Do you write down stuff physically, or do you type it in a computer? What do you find? Because I heard that Anthony Robbins in one of his speeches said that it's more beneficial to actually write it down, because the motions that your hands make actually has more neural transmitters. It creates different pathways, right?
Neurotransmitters is exactly it. I read a study not long ago. It's funny you bring that up. It came from San Diego School of Medicine. And it was a study that talked about when you actually put the pen to paper and the goals or the objectives or the to-do list, or, as I've learned, the will-do list, something magical happens in your mind that it heightens your commitment to achieving what you're going to do. And actually seeing it there, and I know for a lot of people that like to have a sense of accomplishment, crossing that list off, saying, okay, check, got that item done. Check, got that item done.
Yeah. One of my favorite speakers is Jim Rohn. And I listened to this one speech that he gave about goal setting, because I think that goal setting for a lot of people is kind of, it's mysterious and they don't know how. And this, I had never heard it until I had heard him speak. And he says, let's start off, we're going to sit down and we're going to write some goals, but let's start off with 5 things that you've done that you're proud of. And I thought, wow, that's cool, because there are a few things in my life. And so I wrote down, I'm proud that I did this. And so it started, I don't know if you've ever done that, but for me, I thought that's cool, because in the past, my goals are, okay, what do I want to achieve? And I'll write what I want to achieve, and not really reflecting on the positive step of, like, what have I done that I'm proud of? So to me, that helped me. What kind of goal setting tips do you give people?
You know, that parlays directly into something John Maxwell wrote in a book called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And he said successful people spend more time focusing on things they've already accomplished as opposed to what they need to do. And he said the reason why they do that is because it gives them the courage, the confidence, and the strength to go on and accomplish the next task they need to do. And the key thing, I think, to setting goals, when you achieve a goal, a tremendous amount of confidence gets infused in you. It's almost after you accomplish something. Say you're going to the gym. Endorphins don't infuse our body on the way to the gym, they do on the way back.
Yeah.
And so it's that sense of accomplishment we get. If the endorphins came on the way to the gym, everybody go to the gym every single day. But it's that sense of accomplishment that you get when you commit something to paper, you commit something to yourself, and you execute it.
Yeah, that's a great point. So if somebody's watching the video and they want some, like, 3 tips, what would be, and I always ambush people like this. Most of the time they don't even know they were getting recorded. For example, Jeremy said, I didn't know you were going to record, so I kind of ambush them. But so if you need a second to think about this, if you were going to give somebody 3 tips to living a better, more successful life, what do you think those would be?
I've got 3 good tips. I don't need to really think. The 3 good tips. Tip number 1, and it's an article I wrote that achieved quite a bit of popularity, and I titled it, Hit the Delete Button. A tip to living a good life is have a short-term memory on criticism. If people want to point out your flaws, if you even yourself want to have negative self-talk that maybe ridicules yourself for not achieving some of the success that you would wish, that you'd hope you'd have, delete those thoughts. Too often people want to think, I didn't go to the right school, or I didn't come, from the right family. Delete those thoughts and move forward. So tip number 1, I would say, is learn to get rid of any negativity that you have flowing throughout your mind. Tip number 2 would be have a strong vision for where you want to go. A friend of mine recently wrote a book called Vision Map. Beautiful book. It lays out a strategy of where you want to go in life. And one of the keys to success, I believe, is not seeing things as they are, but seeing them as they can be. I think that's real important because the only way, Steve Jobs was the one who said they attributed him to having a reality distortion field. So you get too close to Steve Jobs and he'll make you believe some things that aren't necessarily reality. However, eventually those things came true. And so having a strong vision of where you want to go, and Helen Keller, I think, was the one who said, it'd be worse to have perfect sight and no vision than the other way around. So it's real important to see things, I guess, the way you want to be, and your mind and your body and everything will gravitate that way. The next one is goals. I think that we need to have goals, and people go wrong by keeping them in their mind. Your goals need to be in writing, and they need to be in concrete, and they need to be measurable. This stuff, I'm going to earn more money next year, or I'm going to lose weight, that's not a goal. That's what Brian Tracy says is a wish or a fantasy. Goals are something you can track, are something you can measure, and something that you can hold yourself accountable. On March 15th, I'm going to do 50 push-ups without stopping. On June 3rd, I'm going to raise my productivity by 15%. You need to have a deadline for your goal because all too often, none of us do anything unless we have to do it. It's almost like if we have a report due, if we have to do that report and it's due tomorrow, well, we're going to do it. And there's certain things in life that it's okay to I guess, procrastinate. Maybe taking out the trash. Procrastinate that, fine. That's something that either you do or you don't do. But don't procrastinate your goals. Don't procrastinate your life. Because people choke when they procrastinate because the pressure's on. And when you have a solid formula, when you have a solid solution, so, the 3 tips are hit the delete button, get rid of negative thoughts, get rid of those sense of I'm not good enough feelings. Joel Osteen's the one who says, whatever comes after the I am comes looking for you. So I am good enough, I am intelligent, I am worthy, I am worth having an abundance. The next one, the vision, it's so paramount to see things as they can be because you'll move towards that. You'll always move towards what you see. And again, the last one, get your goals in writing. They have to be in concrete and they have to be something you can see because you'll move towards them if you do.
Yeah. It was Brian Tracy said, what gets measured gets made. Didn't you say that?
Absolutely.
Wow, great pointers, guys. And once again, Jeremy's site is go ahead. What's the site?
Through an incredible stroke of luck, I own the domain name thesecrettosuccess.com. It's a website where I put out a weekly video giving people tips about planning, giving people tips about having a vision, giving people tips about boosting their willpower, talking about how to increase your self-confidence because confidence is so paramount. If it comes from within, you're unstoppable. At the end of every month, I do a live webinar with all of our members. So everyone has a chance to ask me questions and I can kind of recap some of the things we talked about. And then at the end of the quarter, I do something called Ask the Expert. One of my friends that either wrote a book or a professor of a university is going to get real deep into habits and tell us why we behave the way we behave. And then I do something called the $1 Million Question with a successful CEO or just someone who's achieved a lot of success, but also a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. And the $1 Million Question is, if you could do it all over again, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? And these guys shave years and years off people's learning curves by helping them avoid pitfalls and telling them, this is an area I went wrong. So it's a website that provides a tremendous amount of value. It was something I had to do, and that's why I launched it. Thesecrettosuccess.com, and I hope to change a lot of people's lives and inspire action with that website.
Yeah, that's great. I know I've picked up a lot of tips on your Facebook page. You post videos that are really helpful, and what I really appreciate about the videos is I have a terribly short attention span, so the videos aren't long, but it's like the diluted meat, the good stuff, that he gets, like Automobile University. If you're going to be in your car, listen to good quality content. So thanks again, man. I really appreciate you doing the video. Guys, connect with Jeremy, and if you're interested in getting a positive pin, you know where to go to, www.positivepin.com, or if you want to see other inspiring motivational people like Jeremy, go to our blog. It's www.thinkpositiveblog.com, and we will see you with our next positive, inspiring person.